Hey guys, it's Jada here. I'm on my nature walk, which I do daily, and it's so beautiful to be in nature. Look how beautiful, guys. Sometimes I'll see like deer, and I just love deer. I recently fell in love with deer this year. They're so cute to me. Um, but yeah, like on my nature walks, I just clear my mind, and I have so many thoughts in my head every single day. And I just want to come on and talk to you guys. I hope your day's going well. I hope your week is going pretty well. Um, I wanted to talk today about freedom and motherhood, marriage. I hope my thoughts aren't all over the place, but I feel like they might be. So show me some grace, because I just have so many scattered thoughts in my head. But yeah, I was just thinking about freedom and how important freedom is, I feel like in today's time that we're living in, especially as an American, most Americans don't value their freedom because it's something they never had to fight for. When you really think about it, we are one of the first generations of people to be born in a society where we really don't have to fight for much. We're not fighting for like rights as much as our past generations, especially if you are a Black person, African American, or some people say Hebrew Israelite, however you identify as. A lot of our ancestors fought for our freedoms, and I think that's why today we are very lackadaisical about our freedoms. I think that's why today we just don't value or recognize the importance of these freedoms that we have, because we were born into freedom. And this goes like so much deeper than just like it's so much bigger than, let's say, like what's going on now, like with the government, but even in our own personal lives. When I was young, like I got married at 19, and to this day, like I'm 29 now. I got divorced at 23. I was a single mom at 23. I think about how I had so much freedom when I was 19. Like I could have done anything, right? I could have went to college. I could have just really pushed myself in different areas of my life, and I chose to get married. There was so much opportunity available to me. There was so much room for me to become, and I chose to be a wife. And being a wife is a beautiful thing, I'm not like knocking it. But if you look at the statistics of people who get married young, it's not good, They have very high divorce rates. In fact, all of my friends who, at the time when I was 19, who got married young, we're all divorced now. I think there's only one person that is still married, but the rest of us all got divorced, okay? And it makes me think about how we had so much freedom available to us, but we didn't recognize or value that freedom. And for me, I was bound by a lot of like insecurity, a lot of fears, a lot of trauma. I had a lot of religious like ideals that were in my head that I think influenced my decision to get married so young. Like my parents got married super young too. And I know that's a topic that a lot of people talk about within the church, that Christians get married super young. And it is kind of true, because I did it. But now that I'm older, I can look back and I'm able to recognize what pushed me into young marriage, what pushed me into motherhood, like at such a young, like vulnerable age. And of course, I don't regret my child. I love my daughter. She means everything to me. But I'm able to see how my own limitations, my own fears, my own inability to see my freedom and see what was available to me blocked me and caused me to think that I was limited to only being a wife and only being a mother. Is there anything wrong with only being a wife and a mother? No, of course not. I think that everyone is called to their own path in life, No one's journey is the same. But I think that there's a lot of societal pressure, especially as women in the church, Black women in the church, where we kind of tie our worth and our value with being a wife and just being a mom, when there might be so many other gifts and beautiful skills that God has within us that he wants us to use to bless and heal the world. But at the age of 19, I didn't know that. I didn't think highly of myself. I was just desperate for love, and so I jumped and made that decision. And that decision put me in a big pickle. It really did. Because as you know, like I said, my marriage didn't work out. And I went through a lot with my ex-husband, a lot. I mean, infidelity. It was very narcissistic. There was a lot of gaslighting, a lot of emotional manipulation. And he made decisions against me that put me in a pit, that put me into a space of confinement. Because once you have a child with someone, okay, you are attached to that person for life. You can't just choose to not deal with that person. You could, but they could take you to court and you could lose your children. So you are attached to that person truly for the rest of your life. Even when your child grows up and gets married and has children themselves, you are going to see each other again with grandkids and great-grands and different things like that if you choose to have that type of healthy dynamic. You're not really free of this person. No matter how toxic, no matter how narcissistic they are, you still have to deal with them. You still have to co-parent with them. And to me, that feels like a loss of freedom. I hear a lot of women online say, this is why, you shouldn't get married. This is why you shouldn't have kids. And I would have to partially disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with marriage. I don't think there's anything wrong with having children and being a mom. It's such a blessing and it's such a sacred experience. But I think that when it's done out of God's timing, when it's done out of God's will, when it's done out of desperation, it can be very toxic and it can be very depressing. I've went through so much depression. I'm just going to keep it real. I've been through so much depression because of my choice in who I decided to marry and in who I decided to have a child with. And it's really affected me. Even today, you see me on camera and I'm like, hey guys, and I'm smiling. And of course, I have days where I'm so happy. I'm just blessed to be alive. God has been my rock. He's been my peace. But that doesn't mean there aren't days that I'm struggling and that I'm dealing with the aftermath of, my decision. And I guess I just want to put this message out to women out there who might be waiting for marriage, who might be waiting for children, and you kind of just feel like you've been waiting a long time and you're tired of waiting. I just want to encourage you that you really are on the right path and you really are doing the right thing. Take it from someone who got married at 19, had a baby at 22, got divorced at 23. It has been a rough journey for me. It has been so hard. I kid you not. I have went through so many things, guys. This is why I have this channel, to talk about my experiences, to be open and honest, because I want to help other young women that are growing up. And I want to help just women in general who are just waiting for marriage. And you might be feeling weary. You might feel like you're behind, but you're not behind. You're not behind. You're not failing at life. You're not doing anything wrong. God has you in a perfect space right now. I'm telling you, once you get into a relationship with someone, into that covenant that you're not supposed to be in, guys, it takes so much out of you. It strips you of so much. I kid you not. It just strips you. You may not think it is, but it really is taking so much of your joy, your peace, your energy. And then you have a child with this person, and then now you're constantly dealing with the narcissistic abuse. You're dealing with the gaslighting. You're dealing with the other woman sometimes. That was in my case. You're dealing with so much foolishness. And then your child has to deal with the effects of your decision or your spouse's decision. So now they're experiencing the back end of all of the drama, the chaos, the confusion, the dysfunction. It's not worth it. Like, I love my daughter. She's like my heart, but I am sad that she has to experience a broken family. I'm sad that she has to grow up not knowing what it's like to have mom and dad in one home together, not knowing what it's like to experience having that type of unit, because I grew up that way. I grew up with my mom and dad. They were married for like 17 years. They did eventually get divorced, but they had such a beautiful family dynamic. I know what it's like to go on family trips, to go to carnivals as a family, go out to eat, Bible study. Like, my daughter never gets to experience that. And I hope one day she can. Like, I pray that one day God can allow her to experience that. But I know that, like, on my end, there's a lot that I have to work on. I definitely have trust issues and from like how my ex-husband treated me. And I definitely have a fear of like, I think I have like a fear of being vulnerable, a fear of being like intimate emotionally, because I have had so many people like use my vulnerabilities against me, even in court. And it's scary when you open yourself up that way, and the people that you trust to protect you are just kind of like taking notes to use against you for the future. But that's a whole different topic. You're doing good. You're doing good. I'm telling you. You're just in a season of waiting, but it's not a punishment. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to wait. It's a blessing to pour all of your energy into yourself, because like here I am now at 29, right? And now that I'm like walking with the Lord, and I haven't been married for 7 years, okay? I also have not been in a relationship. I really haven't. I've been doing good, okay? I've had my distractions, yes. I've had my temptations, yes. But I have not actually been in a legit committed relationship since my divorce. And I'm very happy about that, because it's allowed me so much time to like spend on myself, because all of my attention and energy was going through my ex, Hello, how are you? All of my energy, all of my attention was going to my ex-husband. So now I get to put it on me. And since this time, God has led me to start like different things. He has been revealing so many things about me to me that I didn't know before. So now at 29, I kind of feel like I'm playing catch up. I feel like I'm like, oh, this is what I like doing. This is who I am. And you never really know who you are. I feel like we're always on this path of like learning and growing and rediscovering parts of ourselves that have been, hidden from trauma or abuse. But at times I feel like I'm behind, because all of my years were spent being a wife and being, a mother at such a young age. Like, I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. I don't have like any college stories or experiences really. I was not out traveling. I didn't have like any large friend groups. I was very much just a wife. And when I look back, I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel like I missed out on some of my life experiences. It's crazy to have these thoughts and to share it with you guys, because I keep these thoughts to myself. But yeah, I'm sharing it because I know other people can relate. Hold on. So I feel like I've missed out on a lot of like the years of my youth, because it was spent being a wife and a bad marriage. So at 29, I feel like I'm like relearning how to live life again. And it's hard because, like I said, there's some of my freedoms have been taken from me because I'm a mom now. And so like, I'm not able to just go out and just do what I want to do. I can't just work at any job. I can't just stay out all weekend. Like, I don't have that freedom. I don't have that ability to do that. And like, when you become a mom, it's like that. You kind of have to put yourself, not kind of, you have to. If you're a good mom and you love your kids, you put yourself on the back burner to be there for your babies. And so, sometimes it's hard, but I wouldn't change like my daughter's existence for anything. She's just the light of my life. I don't live in regret every day. I don't wake up like, oh my gosh, why? Like, I really don't think that way at all about my life. But I still feel like the after effects, and sometimes it hurts, sometimes it sucks. But I think about how God takes everything and uses it for his good, for our good, for his glory. So even the mistakes, the regrets, the decisions, I know that it's going to be used to bless other people, even you watching. And my beautiful daughter, who's going to grow up one day. She's going to need my wisdom, my advice. So I'm glad I can provide that to her one day. I'm going to cut this video off here because this road that I walk on, there's so many trucks and it's so loud, so you probably won't hear me anymore. So yeah, I'm going to end this video. If you have freedom, just thank God for it. Thank God for your freedom of singleness. Thank God for your freedom of childlessness. There's going to be a day where you are going to be married. You are going to have kids, and it's going to change. But you want to make sure you do it the right way and do it in God's way. So you don't have to go through all the things that I've went through in my life. You don't have to go through what other women have went through. Don't be desperate, okay? Listen to women who have been through it and who have went to God for healing, because we're speaking from wisdom. You know, we're not speaking from trauma because we want you to suffer or we want you to be miserable or we're jealous. Some might be, but I'm not. I'm just speaking from my heart just to help other women so they won't fall into the pits that I fell into. And so you can maintain your autonomy and you can maintain your freedom. So, okay, I'm done now. Oh my God, these squirrels are so cute. I'm obsessed with squirrels. Okay. Bye, guys.